Everybody, I'm here today with Paolo Tomev from Helynx Games, and we're just gonna ask him a few questions and have a little chat today. How you doing, Paolo?
I'm doing pretty good. I have a work day with my company today, so we're working on the game that we're gonna talk about a bit later.
My first question that I have for you is what got you interested in game design?
So my my history with games is pretty much that I have a big brother that he got addicted by our cousin to World of Warcraft, right? When I was around 4 years old, pretty much. And because of my big brother, I got into games a lot. He used to basically use me as a as let's put it like a farming bot pretty much, but just a human, right? And I farmed some gold for him for his characters, things like that. But then I got addicted to games, and I started questioning, but how are games made? How are people creating these programs? Because yeah, games are just software, right? So in my teens, I was in high school, of course, and then in high school, I still played a lot of games. And I still had these questions like, okay, but how do people actually make this, right? So I decided what basically what motivated me was the fact that I'm a gamer through and through. I played a lot of titles, and these questions that just continue to pop up in my head, like how are games made? So that's what made me go into a game design study, figure out what I want to do exactly in the game development field. And yeah, currently I have my own company now for this.
That's awesome. In 2022, you came first in the 5G student battle competition, which I'm assuming is something that happens annually. So, what can you say about the competition and how you got first place?
For the 5G student battle, it is an annual event. It's an event that it's not related to game development entirely. However, it is an event that pretty much actual companies in the Netherlands, they give students tasks about real life problems that then company problems that the companies have, right? And we as students, we have to provide them with a solution based on a lot of research, based on well uh, what the company provides us with, well, like their information. And the whole idea is that we have a team full of disciplinary students. For example, my team, we had two software developers, we had two game designers, we had a biochemical engineer as well, things like that, basically different studies, right? Um, and we combine all of our knowledge, all of our skills to help this specific company. And at the end of the 5G student battle, there is a 24-hour hackathon pretty much, in which we have to develop a prototype of our solution and then show it in front of a jury and present it like a marketing pitch in front of a jury. And that jury is combined of most of the sponsors of the events, then some of the professors from the different schools and universities, and they kind of judge all of the groups based on the solution and if it's possible to actually fix this issue that the company is having. So yeah, based on the judges' vote, we actually got first place, as you mentioned, which basically says that we have the best solution to the company's problem, pretty much. And yeah, I believe so. I believe that the project that we did for that company, in my case, it was a water company, the water company of Groningen, the company that provides water to the city. Um, a little bit for the project, it's basically about how can we make more people save more water each day. And their goal was for us to decrease the water usage by 5 liters per day. and we managed to do 8 liters per day. So we even exceeded their goal a little bit.
It's cool. How many teams competed? Do you know?
I believe we were 5 teams.
5 teams. Gotcha.
Mhm.
That's awesome. So I mean that experience, through that competition, have you like gained any knowledge, or did you take anything away from that I guess you're taking into your company moving forward?
Yes, well, the things that I definitely took away from that competition was, I mean, of course, teamwork and communication. Um, because it's not really a game development project, not really a lot of game design learning outcomes, even though my contribution was creating an app on the phone which has mini games inside the app that help you save water pretty much. Um, However, the key learning outcomes from this experience was probably communication, was probably teamwork. I would also mention just noticing the fact how we were also a very international group. So like international communication is probably the best way to say it, because it's one thing to work in a team that's full of, for example, just only Dutch people or only Bulgarian people, but it's another thing to work in a team where you have 5 different nationalities and they all think a different way. So the communication is different there. It's harder, let's say. Um, and a third learning outcome, if I'm making a list with top 3, third learning outcome would be the pitch itself that I had to do, the marketing pitch, because we really had to, I was the main presenter for our group, and I really had to make sure that the presentation and the pitch itself, it really sells our solution to be the best one out of all of the other ones.
Um, is your university, is it a big university for international students?
Yes,
Or
so my
yeah,
university is called Hanze, or Hanze University of Applied Sciences, and it's located in Groningen, the Netherlands. So I believe that it is the largest university for international students in the north of Holland, or the Netherlands, not Holland. Um, and yeah, there is a lot of international students here, a lot of Dutch students as well, but there is a lot of programs at the Hanze University that are taught in English, which allows a lot of European students outside of the Netherlands to come and study at the Hanze.
gotcha. So you're still a college student, and I know that your LinkedIn has it listed that you're going to graduate in 2025. I know also that you have your company Helynx Games, but do you have any, aspirations or goals moving forward after you graduate from university?
So after I do graduate from university, well, the bachelor's degree at least, I will most likely have a year gap where I want to focus on the company, I want to focus on our project, and I also want to focus on learning more about game design and game development, but in my own time. At
Mm,
university, I am studying game design as a bachelor's degree. However, I would also like to take 1 year off from university after year 4, after graduating, for me to just improve on my own for a year, improve my portfolio as a game designer as well, work on the company, work on that project as well, focus on that. Maybe even learn some Dutch because I'm in the Netherlands and I should probably learn some Dutch if I want to live here, right?
yeah.
But after that 1 year gap, I am going for a master's degree most likely as well.
Okay. So, part of the reason why we're talking today is because you are the co-founder of Helynx Games. And you
Yeah.
guys, it was about you and was it five or six other students?
In total, we're 6, so 5 and
Six.
me.
And you guys founded that studio, I think, in February, so just like a handful of months ago. Um, what brought you guys to create that studio?
Mhm. So again, at our university, we are currently all in our 3rd year of university, and the Hanze pretty much tells us that you have two options basically for one of your semesters in year 3. You can either go and have an internship at a real game company, or you can make your own game company. Fun, right? But they have a bunch of requirements for that, of course. Usually we call it the entrepreneurship route for internships, and the entrepreneurship route is the more difficult route, pretty much, to pass the exam for. However, we decided to take the risk because we're confident that we can handle the everything, running the company and making a project. What brought us together was pretty much there is another Dutch student, and he's actually, we can call him the main founder of the company. He's the one that we kind of surrounded ourselves around, the rest of us. And with him, he already had a game idea that he wanted to make. He already had a vision for the game. He already had the project in his mind. It was just for him, it was just about building a team to make this project happen. So he showed me the project one day when I was looking for my internship for the year 3 semester. He showed me the project. He asked me if I'm interested in it. I said yes, I am, because we played the prototype. It was really fun to play against him. And then I told him I can join the project, and then I can pretty much already tell you who I can invite in the team, and those are people that I'm confident in are gonna do perfect job for us and for this project. So I invited the rest of the people in the team, and they joined. They saw the game, they saw the project. They're happy to do it. They're motivated to do it, which is the important part.
Okay. Well, that's cool. And I was gonna ask, what brought you guys together, but you kind of answered that uh on your own. So my question is if you had gone down the other route and you had to do an internship for another company, does the university, help you find that internship, or do they just kind of go like have at it and you have to kind of find something on your own?
So with the Hanze, it's a little bit of both of what you described. So it's at the very start for the internships, they pretty much tell you, yeah, just go and find one, right? They do try to provide us with at least with a small short list of companies that you can contact, but you don't have a guaranteed spot for an internship. So you still have to, they're gonna give you the contact with the company, and you have to get accepted on your own. So you have no
Gotcha.
guarantees that you're getting an internship. And if you do not get an internship, then your university is going to be late by a year, which is unfortunate.
And expensive. Well, I don't,
Yes.
yeah. I I just want to know like the story behind the name and the branding of Helynx Games. I like the logo that you guys have designed, but is there anything like behind how you guys came up with that, or
Um, well, that was the logo and Helynx Games. That was already something in the mind and the vision of the original creator of
really?
the game project. Yes. Um, and with that, with that being said, I believe that well, Helynx mostly comes from just lynxes, basically. So like the animals, lynxes, right? Or
Yeah.
lynx. Well, yeah, lynx as the animals. It comes from there. But we kind of basically what he did is he kind of wanted it to sound more marketable, more basically cool, right? So
Yeah.
he only went with lynx, not lynxes, just lynx. And then he added the Helynx part, which makes it more, I guess, more cool. Is what
Yeah.
he would say, yeah. And for the logo, he already just had it. He's just he has a creative mind. He already had it in his head. I imagine the Helynx logo to look like this. Then afterwards, when we gathered the team, we did have our 2D artist have their opinion on it, of course. Then we also consulted a marketing company as well, and they sent us another version of the logo. And we kept that logo from the marketing team or the marketing company. However, we changed the color of it from if you see our current icon is currently a purple color. Before it was actually blue, but yeah, we changed it to purple.
Okay. Um, so you have listed on your LinkedIn a couple roles that provided some experience, like you were a research assistant at your university, Hans University,
Mm-hmm.
and then you worked for a company, Glitch, where you kind of worked on Glitch TV. I believe you had listed. So, can you talk a bit about that and how you think it's going to contribute to your future with your company and just after?
Yep. So let's start with Glitch because Glitch is the first one that actually happened time-wise before I was a research assistant. When I was in my year one of Hansa of the university, I also joined. It's a study association basically at the university, and it's called Glitch, and it's a non-profit, I believe. And in there, I was a part of the online committee, which pretty much focused on organizing online events, right? So what we did is for the Hansa for the students and for the game design students specifically, we organized game events and we streamed them on Twitch, for example. And those game events were tournaments for Smash, or tournaments for League of Legends, or tournaments for just any esports game, pretty much. What I did specifically was I was writing down some of the rules for the tournaments sometimes, helping with that, of course. And I was also once I actually had to run the stream, the live stream itself. Basically, on the live stream itself, we have different screens that we have to show during the tournament, right? So, for example, the leaderboard, the gameplay screen, things like that. So I had to transition between screens live live during the tournament, right? We have a special keyboard for that, pretty much. But yeah, with Glitch, what that Glitch experience taught me basically is again just improving on my communication. I got to network with amazing people. I got more into social media stuff. I know how to build up a brand now a bit more. How to be more present on social media because of that need of me to work on online stuff for Glitch. And yeah, one of the things that uh, really does help Helynx right now is the fact that, for example, me with my social media experience and two other girls in our team, because of our knowledge, we managed to kind of boost our social media pages for Helynx up pretty much.
Cool.
And then also for the research assistant, I'll try to keep it a bit shorter. As a research assistant, what I did was that the project was posted by a senior researcher at the Hunt, and the research question was, how do we use AI, the new AI technologies from OpenAI, for example, like ChatGPT, how do we use them in different environments, like higher education, like game development, like architecture, for example, or just any industry? How do we apply them to any industry? But we focused a bit more on higher education because Hansa as a university is more interested into, okay, how can we use AIs into our educational system, right? So yeah, what I was doing there, I did a lot of research, a lot of interviews, online research interviews with people from different industries, teachers from Hansa, students, on how they use AI on a daily basis or a weekly basis to improve their game design workflow or improve their writing skills. Or yeah, people use AI in many different ways. it's quite interesting to talk about. And a lot of the teachers also have different opinions on it because some teachers are against it, some teachers are for it, some teachers are in the middle for it. Yeah. What I got from this, connecting it to my game development skills, right? I definitely try to make sure that I think about where is AI gonna be placed in the game development future, right? As a brand new graduate for game design, as a person who's gonna be starting their game development career and joining the game industry now and for the next, I don't know, 50 years, um, I need to be on top of the new trends in the industry, right? So if companies are trying to move towards AIs, so it's I see it as a kind of a necessity for every game developer to at least know how to use AIs in their workflow, right?
That's really interesting. Um, yeah, it seems like every passing day, AI is just getting more and more advanced. So the game that you guys got that you're developing right now, it's titled Growth Tennis. And I just
Mhm.
wanted to know what the story behind that was, or if you could share anything. I understand now that is this the game that the other gentleman already had in mind, and you guys kind of brought everybody
Yeah.
around his idea.
Yes. So for Grilled Tennis, what well, he already had vision for it. There was still a lot of design stuff to do. When we gathered as a team, we already had an influence on him, and we changed a lot of stuff already, right, from the initial concept, which is how design just goes sometimes. But now we do have a game design document where the entire game is described and how we want to actually see it, like the entire team, how we all want to see it, and the vision for it. Um, and for the game itself, uh, we call it Grill Tennis, and the name comes from the fact that the game is set in a kind of a cartoony setting, right? Where people play this sport called grill tennis, right? And this sport is pretty much it is like tennis. So if you imagine a tennis game where you have your ball and you have your net in the middle of the arena for us, right? Um, and you can hit a ball. In our case, that's a burger. It's not a ball because it's grilling as well. Um, and when you hit that ball, if that ball falls down twice on the opponent's ground, then you score a point, pretty much. But you can also fight each other with this ball, because if you hit the ball with your attack, and then your opponent gets hit by that ball, then they're going to lose some of their HP bar, and if they get eliminated for a short period of time, they kind of get removed from the game, and then they respawn. But because they got eliminated, you also get a point for that. So it is quite interesting gameplay. It's quite fast gameplay because the ball itself goes really fast. And then another special thing about the game is the fact that we have this grill mechanic, which basically our ball is our tennis ball, right? Our tennis ball is actually a burger, and players are actually cooking this burger every single time that they hit it. So when the burger gets fully maxed, it's gonna explode the next time it gets hits. It gets hits. Yeah. So it is a lot to think about. It is quite competitive. It is quite fast, quite fun, and yeah, it's currently in early development. So
Gotcha. That sounds like a fun concept. But
yeah.
you said it's in early development. Do you guys have any, goals moving forward with the game and your company? Like, do you have kind of like a set, maybe not a date in particular, but a time period that you want to finish the game? And then do you have any ideas moving forward for something else after that? Just kind of moving
Yeah.
forward.
Yes. So we do have a roadmap for ourselves, of course, because when you're running a business, you need to plan out 1 or 2 or 5 years ahead, pretty much, right? That's one of the best ways to do it. Kind of have estimations and plans and things like that. Uh, Obviously, financial plans too. That's really important. So with Helynx, we started this project in February. The goal up until June is to make sure that we have a polished prototype, and that polished prototype includes the main gameplay loop of the game, so that we can actually showcase. Okay, so this is Grill Tennis. We can show it to the world, right? We can use it for marketing now. We can use it to pitch our idea to investors, to potential backers, for a Kickstarter campaign. But yeah, we do need a really good and polished prototype first. And after June, probably starting in July, we're gonna move into our main development phase, where we are actually planning to potentially try Kickstarter as a or crowdfunding as a funding method, to continue working on the game. Even if that doesn't work out or we don't go for it, that will still be fine, because we have this rule in our company that um, our goals are never going to be canceled. They're just going to be delayed, but that's it. If necessary, delayed, of course. So we're never going to stop working on the game, even if it takes like 4 or 5 years. We are releasing this game eventually. It just depends on when. For now, planning wise, we hope that the main development phase is going to be around 6 months to a year max, right? But hopefully 6 months. And then after the development phase, we have a phase where we just prepare for a Steam launch, which will have a lot of marketing. It will have a lot to do with making sure that we actually properly release our game on Steam, not just putting it out there and hope for the best. Of course, we're gonna make sure that we talk with our mentors for this. We're gonna make sure that we translate our page, for example, in different languages. We have localized prices as well, for example, for the game, and things like that. Just very specific Steam things that have to be prepared before launch.
Awesome. Well, it sounds like you guys got a lot planned out and you're really
Yeah.
prepared. But that's really all the questions I have about, your company and your experiences. And I had a couple just a few questions that are more geared towards fun for the end. I know I told you about the a couple blind rankings that I made, but first I wanted to
Mhm.
ask, do you have like a favorite game? It's like a favorite game of all time.
Yes. So, well, my favorite game of all time, I would still say up to this day, even is again World of Warcraft, the game that I mentioned earlier. Mostly because of nostalgia, right? Because that was my first game. That was the game that made me addicted to games, that made me a gamer, right? And I have been playing World of Warcraft. Just for reference, I'm currently 21, right? I have been playing the game for about 12 years now. So I stopped right now. 12 years in World of Warcraft is amazing.
I I I haven't I just played World of Warcraft for the first time in like November. So
Uh,
I've been missing out for a while, but yeah, people seem to love it, so I decided to give it a shot, and it was pretty fun. But I've got a couple of blind rankings here, and are you familiar with blind rankings?
I believe so. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so I've got a couple of them. So when I spoke to you through messaging, I know that you said that you really liked Blizzard games. So I've got a blind ranking here, and you're rank a couple Blizzard games. with one being the best and five being the worst. So you ready?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So through one through five, where would you put Overwatch?
Overwatch, I would put. Ooh, that's an interesting one because back in 2016, 2017, I loved Overwatch. It pretty much almost became my main game next to World of Warcraft, right? I even, to an extent, maybe in 2016, 2017, I played more Overwatch than World of Warcraft. Currently, I stopped playing Overwatch because I am not extremely happy with some things that happened in the game, but that's just personal opinion, right? Um, so yeah, I would put Overwatch in third place, actually.
Third place?
Yes,
Okay. Uh, the next one, and this should be pretty easy for you. I've got World of Warcraft.
yes. Well, World of Warcraft has to be in first place, yes.
It has to be in third place. Okay. So after World of Warcraft, I have Hearthstone.
Okay, well, for Hearthstone, I do enjoy uh, some Hearthstone from time to time. For myself, at least, Hearthstone is a game that I come back to, play for every couple of months. I come back to it. I play for like a month or two, and then I continue with this same cycle, right? Um, however, and according to the other games, I believe that I still enjoy Overwatch more. So I'm gonna put Hearthstone in fourth place.
Fourth place. Okay. So the next game is Diablo 2.
Ooh, okay. See now you're giving a big curveball here because I was thinking that you're gonna say Diablo, but you said Diablo too. Hmm, interesting. Well, Diablo 2, obviously, Diablo 2 is it's an amazing game, right? A lot of people love it. A lot of people still to this day say Diablo 2 is the best Diablo. Doesn't matter, like not Diablo 1, not Diablo 3, not Diablo even 4, the newest one. People just love Diablo 2. That being said, I didn't play Diablo 2. So I'm just gonna put it last place.
Last place. Okay. So you ready to hear that? So you've got WoW at one, Overwatch at three, Hearthstone at four, Diablo 2 in last place. You ready to hear what your second place game is gonna be?
Yes.
It's Heroes of the Storm.
Yes, I know. I expected that. Well, either that or StarCraft, which I'm fine with because I am enjoying Heroes of the Storm a lot. I know that the game is not a very popular MOBA. It kind of lost the battle against Dota and League of Legends.
Mhm.
However, I do still enjoy Heroes of the Storm from time to time, and I honestly think that Heroes of the Storm is a great game. It's just the fact that just League of Legends and Dota are just amazing games. They are just on another level, right? But yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna put StarCraft 2 in there, but I just know how popular StarCraft 2 is,
Mhm.
and you know how massive it was, and I wanted to put something that I felt was gonna be less expected, but
Yeah, yeah. But
uh,
yeah, still I do enjoy Heroes of the Storm. So
so I know you also said that you liked RPG games, so we're gonna do the same thing, but we're gonna blind rank uh five
Mhm.
RPG games from one to best, five to worst. So
Yeah.
the first one is Elden Ring.
Okay. Ooh. I mean, obviously, just straight up game of the year, right? It happened.
Yeah.
Everyone was happy about it pretty much. Um, so yeah, it's impossible to put Elden Ring, uh, uh, well, either not in first or second place. Um, it really depends on the other games that you're gonna mention. So I'm gonna put it in second place, and we'll see.
Second place. Okay.
Yes,
So Persona 5.
Persona 5. Um, so I haven't played Persona 5 personally, but many of my friends have played it, and I know quite. aware about it. Me not playing it also as the same thing as the previous list or the previous ranking will kind of decrease it for me because I haven't played it. It's nothing against the game. It's probably a really good game, but I haven't played it yet. So yeah, we can put it in number 5.
Number 5. Okay. Hopefully you've played the rest of the games I have on here, but they're fairly popular. So even if you haven't
Yeah.
played them, you probably know that. But um, Fallout New Vegas.
Okay. So I have played this. um, I mean, honestly, again, not. I never was a like a big Fallout fan. However, I do play the games because they are good games. But was never that much into the IP, right? So
Mm,
I am kind of following the IP and playing the games, but I'm not necessarily a big fan of it. Um, However, yeah, really good games, amazing games. The studios are most of the time are releasing good Fallout titles. Uh, However, let's put it in number 4, I believe. It's still free,
Number 4.
right?
All right. So two more. The next game is Final Fantasy 7.
Oh, Final Fantasy 7. And I have number 1 free, and what
1
was
and
the other
3.
one? 1 and 3. Oh, okay. I'm really interested to know what the other game is, but yeah. Um, I yes, I can put Final Fantasy in number 1.
Okay.
Mostly because I really love the story about the Final Fantasy franchise. And just Final Fantasy as games, they are really amazing games. They're really fun to play. Really good narrative. The developers of those games, they really try to listen to the communities most of the time. Of course, not for everything, but that's sometimes not possible, right? Um, but the really cool thing that I found out about Final Fantasy is the fact that Final Fantasy as a game was actually the final IP or the final game that the studio had the funds to actually release. And if that didn't work out, then that means that they would have to bankrupt and remove the company, right? And but then Final Fantasy released, it was a massive success, and they just did a 180, and the company turned out really well, and they're one of the bigger companies in the world right now. So yeah, amazing storyline, and that's where the name comes from. It's Final Fantasy because it's the company's Final Fantasy to or final chance for them to actually do something.
Cool.
So
All
yeah,
right. So
put that into number 1.
you got Final Fantasy 7 at number 1, Elden Ring at 2, Fallout New Vegas at 4, and Persona 5, 5. So for your number 3 spot, it's Mass Effect 2.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine with that again. Yeah.
Okay. And I've got one more. This one's a little bit different. Instead of blind ranking games, you're going to be blind ranking video game characters, and you're going to be blind ranking them on their fashion sense or their outfits, basically what they're wearing.
Okay. Okay.
So one is like the coolest or the best, and 5 is that no, it's whatever. But so for number 1, you've got Dante from Devil May Cry.
Oh, starting off really good. uh yeah, the game oh no, the not the game, but the character design of Dante, like narrative and just visualize top notch pretty much. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, a really good character. And overall, I really like the art style that Devil May Cry games have as well. So yeah, that will be high up to be honest. That will be high up. Ooh, um, well, let's put it at 3 because it's early.
3. Okay. So next up you have Bayonetta.
Bayonetta. Okay.
Bayonetta.
I'm trying to remember stuff from Bayonetta. Okay. Uh, with their art style, not personally, again, not the biggest fan of it, right? But that's just me nitpicking stuff. So I'm gonna put it in fourth place. Uh,
Fourth?
because yeah, not really my yes, not really my thing.
Okay. Um, so next up you've got Alan Wake.
Alan Wake. So there we do have some quite interesting. It's more of a realistic style in that game. Um, the models they do look really good. They do look realistic. I really like the quoting, by the way. I'm not sure how they do their quoting. However, they do it really well. um, yeah, I would put that in just because of the difficulty as well, making realistic graphics and making them believable, and expressing emotions in the faces because uh, there's a lot of cinematics in the game, a lot of close-up shots as well. So and the way that the character looks and the quotes, they have to look really good even up close. You cannot hide anything because it's really close. So honestly, let's put that into first place actually. Yes.
First place?
Yes. Just
Okay.
because of the difficulty.
So now you got Princess Peach from Mario.
Princess Peach. Uh hmm. I mean it's very nostalgic, right? So it's if we're going by nostalgia, it would be really really a good idea. Just throw it up, you know. But I do feel like I mean um it is a bit simple, right? So it's a I believe it was like a pink dress with a couple
Yeah.
of different pink patterns, and obviously the crown that she has. But then again, most Princess Peach, I feel like is one of the first things that if you tell me draw coding for a princess, that's like one of the first things that you do, right? Like a crown and a dress like that. So I believe that I have number five still. Maybe put
Mhm.
that there.
Okay. So your number two spot, uh, for number one, you have Alan Wake. Three is
Yeah.
Dante. Four is Bayonetta. Five is Princess Peach. For your number one, it's going to be Leon Kennedy from Resident Evil.
Yeah. I mean, I
Okay.
guess it does make sense because Resident Evil and Alan Wake uh, they're kind of they both kind of have a more realistic style, which is it's really difficult to achieve to make it believable.
Gotcha. Well, that's it for the blind rankings. Uh, uh, before we end off, is there anything else you'd like to say or share or anything?
Mhm. Well, so I was thinking about this even before the interview, right? And our university focuses a lot on cultural differences between international students. So currently, I'm wearing this handband right here.
Mhm.
And this is actually, well, I'm going to share some of our Bulgarian culture in this interview in a nutshell, quickly. So we like to wear these at the start of March. Every single Bulgarian pretty much does. And for us, this red and white, it kind of represents pretty much good health and good luck to the person that wears it. And then at the end of March or start of April, when you see a stork outside, pretty much, then you have to put this on a tree. And the moment that you actually see a stork that is flying in the air, that means that you're really gonna have good luck and good health throughout the year, pretty much. But if the stork actually is landed somewhere and then you see, and it's always the first stork, right? And if it landed, then I believe that's a bit unlucky, pretty much. But this is a really cool tradition, and we try to, as Bulgarians, we also try to share it with international students, with other people, because they really like wearing these, because they're also kind of cute, I guess, just red and white headbands. And yeah, the other thing that I would also like to share is, well, would like to invite people that actually listen to this interview to follow Helynx on the social medias, to try to support the project if they want to, if they're interested in the project. Of course, we're inviting them over, for some of our social media pages, because we're gonna be updating uh, stuff. We're gonna be updating everyone on how the game goes, but also more personal stuff about us, because we believe that if we share more of our, well, we are as people, then that pretty much gives us a better connection with the potential audience of the game as well. And we need to make sure that well, our future players, our future clients, pretty much they know who we are, and that's really important for us.
Okay, awesome. Well, thanks so much.
Yep.
You know, I appreciate you taking out your time to do this with me.
Yeah.
So.
No problem at all.